Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have updates to share about the disbarment trial of attorney John Eastman. To say that it's not going great would be an understatement. For him, in the first week of the trial, the judge told Eastman that he's lucky he's not on trial for all of the false statements he made after the Capitol attack. So the judge was referring to an article that Eastman had written where he repeated all of his false claims about the election, so-called election fraud in Georgia and Michigan. The prosecutor also made a total fool out of Eastman's witnesses on the stand. In particular, it was revealed that one of his so-called election fraud whistleblowers is an amateur ghost hunter. Also, the guy has an extensive history of drug abuse, mental health issues, and allegations of domestic violence. So that's according to a local Pennsylvania news outlet who investigated this guy. It also says that this man and his brother made a documentary about paranormal experiences that they claim to have had. So Eastman was asked about this on the stand, and he was forced to admit he knew nothing about this guy's background because he didn't bother to do any research. He did not bother to look into this witness's background to try to ascertain his credibility. We're talking about a law professor here, right? This guy Eastman, was a law professor. So all of that went down during Eastman's testimony, and then the California bar started calling their witnesses. One by one, they rebutted and made total clowns of Eastman and his witnesses. So one witness in particular was Professor Justin Grimmer. He's from Stanford University, and Grimmer is said to have decades of experience as a statistician and also as an elections expert. So he was asked to explain first why there were 2.6 million fewer ballots rejected in 2020 than in 2018, because Eastman and his side contend that this is evidence of election fraud. They say, oh, see, there were so many more rejected because they weren't completed properly. So Grimmer said, first of all, it's like trying to prove a false negative, right? But due to the pandemic, he said more time and more money was spent educating voters about how to do it properly, how to complete the ballots, how to submit the ballots. He also took issue with Eastman's argument that no excuse mail-in voting led to fraud. Grimmer said that in 2019, the Republican majority in Pennsylvania, in the state legislature, passed Act 77. That act legalized these same voting laws, the mail-in voting laws, like no excuse, no questions asked, mail-in voting. Then those same, or many of those same lawmakers who voted for that bill then claimed that for some reason this no excuse mail-in voting was somehow illegal because Trump lost. They just talk out of both sides of their mouth. Another subject that took up a lot of Friday's session was so-called dead voters in Georgia. Grimmer broke them down one by one, and he explained that they're all complete BS. So, for example, Eastman had a signed affidavit from a woman named Lisa Holst. Holst alleged that a ballot was cast in her deceased father's name in 2020, but she has no clear evidence that it actually occurred. Then similarly, a woman named Sandy Rumpf signed an affidavit which said that her deceased father's voter registration was changed to active in 2020. The Georgia Secretary of State explained all of this, and he said they made that change in error. They were updating their voter rolls, and it was just a simple mistake. And then Grimmer pointed out Rumpf never made a claim that there was fraud or that anyone had actually voted in her father's name, just that his name got switched to active. So on the witness stand, Grimmer said, quote, "In no affidavit did a single person say, I saw someone vote illegally or I have proof of election fraud. It was people just having unpleasant experiences." And then Grimmer also said that Eastman's alleged expert statistician lacked, quote, basic logical reasoning. One example that was given was that they believe that because more people voted for Biden than Hillary Clinton, it shows that there was fraud. I mean, it's unbelievable the lengths that they go to. I mean, no, 4 years of Trump did that, right? People were like, I'm not dealing with this again. I don't care what I did in 2016. I'm not living through another 4 years of that. So Eastman's only defense continues to be, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought the election was stolen. I was just doing my job. I was just advising the president. I really believe this. But he asked Trump for a pardon. He went to Rudy Giuliani. Remember, in the January 6th Select Committee hearings, it came up that he sent an email to Rudy Giuliani that they had a copy of, and he asked him to take the matter up with Trump. So he clearly knew that his actions were not legal. And to this day, he's out there pushing the big lie. Right in the midst of this trial, he went on Steve Bannon's show and he was whining and crying about how, oh, everybody's being so mean to me and they're saying that I tried to overturn the election. Yet he goes on the show and repeats these same exact lies about the election and so-called election fraud. But I started to think about it and I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, he has to at this point, right? That's part of the grift. That's part of his defense because he can't very well step up and admit now that he was wrong. He can't, say, oh, I didn't do any due diligence. And so that's why I did what I did, because then he is guilty. Then he loses his license for sure, which he probably already is going to. But anyway, he's stuck, having to continue pushing the lie as if he really means it. So anyway, I wanted to let you guys know this trial was supposed to be wrapping up, but the judge added another week to the schedule. But there's going to be a delay for some reason. I'm assuming scheduling or, maybe time off during the summer. I don't know exactly. I wasn't able to find that detail. But the final week of the trial will not occur until the end of August. So they'll get everything settled out then. But think about it. It's very possible, quite likely, that by the time this judge hands down a ruling, or if it, as it was said before, if it goes to the California Supreme Court for them to adjudicate it, it is very likely that Eastman will already have been indicted for state crimes in Georgia, as well as federal crimes from the special prosecutor. So, what a time to be alive. I mean, we are literally living history. This is unbelievable. So I will keep you guys posted on all of this. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with everyone you know, become a subscriber, become a donor if you possibly can. Links are down below in the description box on YouTube and the podcast. Truly helps to keep the show going. So appreciate it. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.